What happens to your brain when someone ignores you? Someone went quiet on you. No explanation, no warning. Maybe it was a friend, a parent, a partner, or even a whole group of people. And suddenly you couldn't stop replaying everything in your head. What did I do wrong? Why am I not worth a simple reply? Here's what nobody tells you. That feeling isn't weakness. That's your brain sending out a distress signal. And the science behind it will change how you see yourself forever. Picture this. You send a message. You see it's been read, and then nothing. The little typing bubble appears and disappears. Hours pass. Then a day. You check your phone every 20 minutes. You replay the last conversation in your head like a detective searching for clues. You start to wonder, did I say something wrong? Did I do something? Or worse, am I just not important enough? And here's the thing that nobody talks about. You are not being dramatic. You are not overreacting. Your brain is literally going through something measurable, something real, something that scientists have studied in labs and found shocking results from. Because being ignored doesn't just hurt your feelings, it changes your brain chemistry. And once you understand how, you will never look at silence the same way again. Let's start with something that will probably surprise you. Researchers at Purdue University ran a study where they put people inside brain scanners and had them experience social rejection, specifically being ignored and excluded. Then they looked at which parts of the brain lit up. The result? The exact same regions that activate when you feel physical pain. Let that sink in for a moment. Your brain does not distinguish between someone breaking your arm and someone leaving you on red. To your nervous system, both are threats. Both are damage. Both trigger the same alarm system. This response has a name. Scientists call it social pain. And it exists because of evolution. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived in tribes. Being excluded from the group didn't just hurt emotionally, it was a death sentence. No tribe meant no food, no shelter, no protection. So your brain evolved to treat social rejection as a survival emergency. That ancient alarm system is still inside you. And every time someone goes silent on you, it fires. But it goes even deeper than that. When you are ignored, your brain enters what psychologists call a state of social threat. And in that state, something interesting happens. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking, logic, perspective, goes partially offline, and your amygdala, the emotional alarm center, takes over. This is why you can't just think your way out of it. This is why telling yourself it's not a big deal doesn't work. Because in that moment, your brain isn't listening to logic. It's in survival mode. It's scanning for danger. It's trying to figure out, am I safe? Do I still belong? And when it can't find an answer, because silence gives you nothing to work with, it starts to fill in the blanks itself. This is called the Zeigarnik Effect. Your brain is wired to obsess over unfinished things. Incomplete stories create mental loops that keep running until there is resolution. And when someone ignores you, there is no resolution. There is just an open wound your mind keeps returning to. So you replay conversations, you analyze tone, you search for signals you might have missed. Not because you are weak or clingy or paranoid, but because your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Search for answers to keep you safe. Think about the last time a close friend suddenly became distant. No fight, no reason, just less present, fewer replies, shorter answers. And even if everything in your life was fine, that one shift probably took up more mental space than it should have. You found yourself thinking about it while eating, while working, while trying to sleep. Or think about a parent who went emotionally cold during a difficult time in your childhood, who was physically there, but unreachable, silent, unavailable. Research shows that this specific type of experience, called emotional neglect, can rewire a child's developing brain to be permanently hypervigilant, always scanning, always waiting for the next silence to come. Or think about a workplace situation, a manager who stops acknowledging your contributions, a team that leaves you out of conversations. Studies on workplace ostracism show it causes more long-term psychological damage than direct conflict or even verbal aggression. Because at least conflict means you exist. Silence tells your brain, you don't matter enough to acknowledge. And across all of these situations, friend, parent, partner, colleague, the brain's response is remarkably similar. Threat detected, alarm activated. Logic suspended, obsession begins. Now here is where it gets really interesting, and this is the part most people never hear. The pain of being ignored is not just about the other person. It's about what the silence activates inside you, specifically the unhealed parts. Psychologists have found that people who experienced inconsistent emotional availability in early childhood, a parent who was sometimes warm and sometimes cold, sometimes present and sometimes gone, develop a specific sensitivity to silence as adults. Their nervous system learned early on that quiet means danger, that distance means abandonment, that no response means something is deeply wrong. So when someone ignores them as an adult, even briefly, even unintentionally, it doesn't just register as a mild social inconvenience. It reaches all the way back. It pulls on something old, something that was never fully resolved. This is why two people can experience the exact same silent treatment and have completely different reactions. One person shrugs and moves on. Another spirals for days. The difference isn't weakness. The difference is history. Your reaction to being ignored is a window into your earliest experiences of feeling seen or not seen. And understanding that is not a diagnosis. It is not something to be ashamed of. It is actually one of the most powerful pieces of self-knowledge you can have. So, what do you do with all of this? First, stop punishing yourself for feeling it. Your brain is not broken. It is not overreacting. It is doing exactly what millions of years of evolution built it to do. The pain is real. The obsession is biological. The loops in your head are not a character flaw. Second, learn to recognize the pattern. The next time someone's silence sends you spiraling, pause. Ask yourself, is this really about this moment, or is this pulling on something older? Something deeper? Because often what feels like a reaction to one person is actually an echo of a much earlier wound. Third, give your brain what it actually needs. Not more analysis, not more checking your phone, but completion. Whether that means having the conversation, writing down your thoughts, talking to someone you trust, or simply acknowledging to yourself, I feel this, and it makes sense that I feel this. Your brain needs a way to close the loop. Because here is the truth. You were not designed to be ignored. Your need to be seen, heard, and acknowledged is not needy. It is not clingy. It is human. It is ancient. And it is completely, undeniably real. The people who made you feel like too much for wanting a response, they were wrong. Your brain knew it all along.